How y'all doing, guys? I'm JustMerko. Today I'll be talking about catching versus dodging in Knockout City and when to use each mechanic. Before we get into the video though, like and sub if you guys enjoyed it or like my content, I really appreciate it. Now both dodging and catching are really useful, and it's not like one is better than the other, but sometimes it's hard to judge when to use each move. So I'll be going over some common situations you might find yourself in and what to do in those situations. Now catching is really good for the overcharge you can get if you get a perfect catch, as well as you get the ball, obviously. This can be great because you can just chuck the ball right back at them and maybe get a hit off. Dodging on the other hand is good because it's easy to time for the most part, and you don't have to worry about timing a catch and messing it up and getting hit possibly. In Knockout City, you'll find yourself in loads of different situations, but they can boil down to more general scenarios. When it's a one-on-one, whether it be the actual mode or you're facing one of your opponents, in team fights, when you're outnumbered, and when it's a 1v3. It's also good for me to mention that the distance you have between you and your opponents has a huge impact on the better option to use. So in one-on-ones, for the most part, catching is really the best bet because there isn't anything to worry about other than that one player and the ball he's about to throw. So basically from any distance, catching would be really effective. The only exception could be if a player is jumping above you, you don't really have an option to catch. You'll probably get hit if you try to do that. So you kind of have to dodge, though at that point it's more timing or maybe even reading your opponent, because it's easy for them to just time it so they hit you after you dodge. You really never want to get yourself stuck in that type of situation anyways, so yeah. In team fights, it's best really to pay attention to what the opponents are doing to you, because you really need to adapt to how they attack. If they're focusing on you, let's say you're one shot, and they're double teaming and throwing through balls, catching is a huge gamble here, and it's best to dodge out of the way. With that, you can avoid getting hit and maybe steal the balls after that and set up your team's attack. If they're more unorganized, you should be able to catch most of the time, unless you're up close. Catching is still viable, but you really need to read your opponents rather than react. And if only one of them have a ball, you could go for the tackle, so your teammate could maybe pick up the ball and hit them. When you're outnumbered again, it's good to gauge the situation based on whether they're focusing on you or not, and to dodge if they are and catch if they aren't. But also remember that it's better to hold on to the ball when you're outnumbered rather than going for a hit. So if you catch it, make sure to hold on to it, and if you dodge, see if you can recover the ball or not, and stick with your teammate and keep backing up until you get your third back again. Finally, in a 1v3, and it's really hard to survive these, always back up. It doesn't matter if you're the son of LeBron James himself, not even he can win a 1v3. Just back up and run away. Dodging is the most effective here because usually you can create more space between you and your opponents, but if you're already far enough away, you could go for a catch, but just don't give the ball away, don't give it back, just hold on until your teammates come through, then you can throw it, because if you just throw it right away, it's an easy catch for them and they can hit you easier than you can hit them. Other than that though, that's most of the main situations you guys will find yourselves in Knockout City. Again, catching and dodging are both good. One's not better than the other, they're just kind of situational. But that's all for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like and sub helps me a lot, and hope y'all have a nice